WrestleMania 40 is just 2 days away. And wow, I remember when it was the Rumble. That was like 70 days. But we made it. And now we're just 2 days away. This has had some of the biggest builds, some of the best builds. But hey, I'm going to get right into it so I don't take too much time. So, night 1 and night 2 seem stacked. So let's start off with what has been announced for night 1. What I think is going to kick it off, like most WrestleManias, is with a ladder match. And that is the 6-pack ladder match for the Undisputed Tag Team Championships. Now, Michael Cole did say on Raw, remember, both titles have to be grabbed for the match to end. And I think he was pointing at that the tag titles could get split finally! Because, there's so much tag team talent that 2 titles on Raw and SmackDown should be good. But who are going to win the titles? It is my predictions. I think, first, you have Austin Theory and Grayson Waller grab the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. But wait, they only grab one, fall off the ladder. And then, just a little bit later, the feel-good moment of Awesome Truth grabbing the Raw Tag Team Championships. Yep, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory will win SmackDown. Raw Tag Team Championships will come home to the Awesome Truth. 2 workhorses. They haven't won a title. Neither of them have won a title, not including the 24/7 championship, in a while. And I think it's finally their time to shine at WrestleMania. Next up, Jay versus Jimmy Uso. One of the matches that I'm most hyped about going into WrestleMania. I think that you have Jay win. Some people are saying after the match they hug, reunite. Honestly, I would love to see them reunite, but the WWE these days is just so unpredictable. So either if they reunite or not, I still think this is going to be a good match. Third ever time brothers have faced off at WrestleMania. Except I got my boy Yeet. Jey Uso is what I'm predicting to win, because I don't really know. I just have a feeling. Yeah, it's probably a terrible explanation, but who cares? I have Jey Uso. Very hyped for the match. Next up, Gunther versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. I don't see a world where Gunther could drop the title. There is Bash in Berlin coming up, and Gunther's from Austria, very close to Germany. So he could drop the IC and go for the title in Berlin for the World Heavyweight. But listen, I don't see him doing that. I think Triple H just loves Gunther, and he's just going to keep the title on him for as long as possible. I mean, Gunther's already beaten Honky Tonk Man, so, I don't feel like Sammy has enough story. Maybe if it was Chad Gable, but I don't feel like Sammy has enough story to really beat Gunther. So for the time being, I still think that Gunther reigns supreme. Next up, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi versus Damage Control, Dakota Kai, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. This match has been built up, and, it got announced very recently. And I don't have a lot to say about it, actually. Yeah, it's a match. That's definitely for sure. For hype, I'll give it a thumbs in the middle. Bianca had to get on the card, I guess. And Jade Cargill. It's nice to see her. But I'm going to predict that Damage Control get the win. After so many years of just losing, right? Bianca Belair, War Games 2022, won. War Games 2023, I forget. And then so many other times. Last year, Damage Control lost to Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, and Lita, right? They've just been losing and losing. I feel like finally at WrestleMania 40, it's the Damage Control's time to shine. And I think this is going to happen with Jade Cargill turning on Bianca and Naomi, setting up for Jade Cargill versus Bianca. And yes, Damage Control will win. And I'm predicting that Jade Cargill will have something to do with the Damage Control winning. Next up, Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio. I personally think that this match is not the best they could have done. Far from it. But at the end of the day, a lot of them are good. I feel like Dragon Lee, just having him come into the LWO and just immediately get a WrestleMania match. Like, what about Carlito, But I think you have Dominic and Santos Escobar win. Because yet again, I don't have a lot to say about this match. So I think you have Dominic make it 1-1 with Rey Mysterio. Maybe they can have their third match to settle it all at next WrestleMania or somewhere else. But yeah, nothing much more to say. Next up, Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. I think that you had to keep the title on Rhea. And making Becky feel like the underdog is hard, but they have made it work. And Becky's just been getting too many wins leading up to it, But I predict Rhea, but I hope this is a good match. And Judgment Day need a few wins because they're going to lose the tag titles like I predicted. Hopefully. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a Dave Meltzer, okay? Listen. Finally, the main event. The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. And I think that this match will be awesome. But I think it will end with The Rock and Roman standing tall. As it just... The Bloodline Rules match, no DQ, sets up for so many possibilities on night 2. So yeah, that's night 1. Now it's time for night 2. Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus the Final Testament of Karrion Kross, Akam, and Rizar. I'm sorry, I butchered that pronunciation. And a Philadelphia street fight. Now, if it wasn't for Bobby Lashley, this feud is bad, right? So if it wasn't for Bobby Lashley, this match wouldn't be happening, I think. And this is a pre-show match if it weren't for the Philly street fight. So this match, by the skin and teeth, has gone on to the main card. And I think you have Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits win. Yet again, I don't really know. I just feel that they are going to win. Yeah, not much more to say. Next up, LA Knight, versus AJ Styles. And the more I think about this, the more I think that AJ Styles is a made man, right? He can lose a lot of matches and still be a Hall of Famer from now on. But LA Knight, he might get hurt by a loss. As AJ, not so much. He's a veteran, right? So I think you have LA Knight go over. The movement still intact. I think you have LA go over because he just needs to win more. A loss could hurt LA more than it could hurt AJ. And a win could help LA more than it could hurt AJ. More than it could help AJ, sorry. Right? So, just LA Knight, it can help him and won't hurt him. Right? So, LA Knight, I'm predicting, will be the winner of that match. Next up, let's see. Logan Paul versus Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens for the United States Championship in a triple threat match. Last time, when I was looking at the card, I didn't know who was going to win. But now, I think I have a pretty good idea. And that, my friends, is Logan Paul. Because why? Logan, mostly the last few weeks, has been getting beaten up, right? So I feel like you can have KSI, his partner in Prime. I'm so sorry. And maybe even Jake Paul, like we saw in the Crown Jewel match versus Roman Reigns. Maybe even Jake Paul come out. But I think you have them help Logan. And yeah. Also, I think you need Logan to carry the title into SummerSlam in his hometown, Cleveland. And maybe he'll drop it at SummerSlam. Yeah, so I just think that Logan can win. He can carry the title into SummerSlam, and I think, like I said, in his hometown, he'll probably lose. I'm predicting Logan, but yeah. Next up, women's championship match between Io Sky and Bayley. This has been one of the best feuds going into WrestleMania, maybe even the second best behind the Bloodline. But in the past weeks, it's kind of fallen off. Like, it's been centered around Dakota and not really Io. I just feel like they've fallen off in the last few weeks, but they built it up enough where it's a good Mania match. And I think you have the leader of Damage Control, who got turned on, have her feel good moment, give her flowers, have her get rewarded with the women's championship. And yeah, not much else to say. I predict Bayley. Next up, the World Heavyweight Championship match between Seth Rollins, who's the champ, and Drew McIntyre. I think that The Rock has said, Seth Rollins, I'm going to do everything in my power. Sorry for my deep voice. Sorry. I think The Rock has said that he wants to do everything in his power to make Seth lose. And I think he's going to do that. The ref's going to get distracted. The Rock's going to do his shenanigans. And I think Drew's going to walk out on top. Seth, he could turn on Cody maybe on the Raw after WrestleMania. I don't know. But I just think that Drew McIntyre will walk out champ. And finally, for the main event of WrestleMania, the undisputed Universal Champion Roman Reigns versus the man that vows to finish his story, Cody Rhodes. And last year, with the power of hindsight, I do think that it was the right decision to have Roman win. Because the Bloodline Civil War, there was still story to be told with that storyline, right? But now, there's not much story left to be told. And I think this is where you have Cody Rhodes finish the story. We all said Cody was winning last year, and we're saying it again this year. I think Cody's going to win. Because then you can have The Rock be like, oh, well, Roman lost. Turn on Roman, And he can do that. Also, I want it to be like an Avengers Endgame thing, Everyone comes out. Jay, Jimmy, Solo, Paul Heyman, and The Rock. Everyone. Sami Zayn, maybe. I don't know. Just a lot of people. There's been the rumors that John Cena and Stone Cold come out. And hey, those are two of The Rock's biggest rivals. So maybe, Rock's going for the people's elbow. Glass shatters. Stone Cold comes out. I don't know. I think this is going to be like an Avengers Endgame. Very fun match. I want it to be overbooked. I want it to have too many people. But I think that in the main event, in front of 80,000 people, Cody Rhodes finishes his story. And yes, those are my WrestleMania 40 predictions. Disagree with them? Tell me in the comments. But those are what I think. I'll do my review video of the show. And you know what? I'll go back and see how many of these predictions I got right in a different video and see how right I got with, even Jade Cargill's turn or something like that, I'll see how close I got. But for now, that is what I think. And see you guys after WrestleMania. Peace.